Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the After Hours Gaming League. It's Season 4! It's the semifinals. It's Microsoft versus IBM. Microsoft, the multi-time champion of the AHGL, versus IBM, who is stripped of a potential win by Epic Systems in Season 2, hoping to get to the finals once again. And maybe get a first place this time. Unfortunately for them, their enemy's Microsoft. Not only an epically large company, but one of epic StarCraft 2 skill. Who will come out on top? We will, because we love drama. And this is what's happening on the battlefield. The AHGL Season 4 Semifinal number 2. Sponsored by Red Bull Gaming and hosted by Day9 TV. P.S. That's me. Remember, this is the For Fun Corporate League, where we do not have the best of the best pros, the tippest toppest of GSL champs, but rather try-hard, full-time employees who love to play games as much as you and I. The biggest goal for IBM: can they defeat the epically good slogan of Team Microsoft? Macro hard, Microsoft. Up in the top right-hand corner, from the Team Microsoft itself, the multi-champion of AHGL, it is none other than Light Brigade. His enemy down in the bottom corner is D's Nuts, actually. Welcome back, D's Nuts. It's good to see you yet again. Going to be up to Light Brigade to have sponged up all the skill that he has garnered through his journey to this good old happy time semi-final and utilize them here on Overgrowth. It's Protoss up in the top, right down in the bottom left. D's Nuts, the Terran player. Let's lay it on the line for you in terms of the first half of this matchup and the second half of this matchup. There's no real need to discuss the opening in too grand detail because, for the most part, it's the Terran player opening up with a 1 Barracks Reaper expand and gathering up enough utility up to maybe around the 13-14 minute mark to apply a little bit of pressure. To use Marine Marauder with Medivacs and some mixture to try to tear down the Protoss, who's en route to a 3rd base or 4th base. The Terran is trying to batter down the Protoss as much as possible in that first 14 minutes of the game. Up in the top right-hand corner, Light Brigade's big goal is to receive as little damage as he can in that first 15 minutes in order to achieve the second half of the game, which is where bam. He'll likely take the win. Protosses, in other words, are trying to win in the late game. It's like red aggro versus blue control in Magic the Gathering. And of course, there's a veteran player online right now who's like, who plays mono blue? That's like totally so newbie. I prefer Bant control, but listen to me. I'm not going to say Bant on air, except for the 2 times I just did. Now, this semifinal match will, of course, be running right now, but I wanted to remind all y'all that on the 31st will be the grand final. It will be held at Red Bull Santa Monica, all the way down in the Southlands of Los Angeles, where we will get the opportunity to see National Instruments go up against the winner of this series. National Instruments played last week and had a beautiful 4-3 win over the Google-Google-esques. Ooh, D's Nuts. Smearing his engineering bay all over the natural expansion of Light Brigade, who's following up with a good old 1-gate expand. Nothing too noteworthy, but again, I want to highlight that key concept. The Terran player trying to apply as much pressure as possible before the 15-minute mark in order to have an edge in the late game. And look at this. An example of the beauty that the Terran player is trying to go for, harassing with that single Reaper. May have seemed like a little bit of an early cancel, but this early cancel is allowing D's Nuts to get a pair of extra barracks down. And of course, Light Brigade was going to be able to expand anyway. Oh ho ho ho. Good play by Light Brigade to take out this neutral supply depot, or in this map as it is called, neutral bricks. In this opening stage, there's 2 options that the Protoss is going to go for. I would say 2 categories of play. One is defense focused, one is offense focused. Defense focused would be something along the lines of a Stargate play. Might seem offense focused, but you're never going to try to really win the game with a single Oracle at this level of play. This is the other defensive option, a beautiful robotics facility that will lead to such choices as Colossus, or Warp Prism Templar play, which, though allows for some counterattacking, is largely a defensive maneuver, trying to put pressure back on the Terran player in a very slight way to stay alive. The other option is the aggro, going for the Twilight Council, and that's what D's Nuts is looking for with this single Reaper. He's going to try to pop in and check it out. He sees nothing up in the main base. He's hoping to loop around, but the Mothership Core looks like he will. Oh, down to 2 health. Oh my god, the healing of... the healing, just a little bit of health, allows him to stay alive. So now, Dr. D is back up to a very normal construction. Just with this one single reactor add-on, D's Nuts is actually going to be spending quite a bit more money. And we'll have to slow down his tech just a little bit. Well, that's the theory, at least. But what we see out of D's Nuts is a pretty interesting choice, going for the factory quickly, going for the engineering bay quickly, and this might actually pan out to be a perfect choice as we see Light Brigade advancing forward. With his observers, we see no additional gateways. This is fairly typical of a robo-firsting player. The only thing that's really missing from Light Brigade's, from his salad, is a dressing of a forge. Looks like Dr. D is getting the missile turret up. Kind of an unusually defensive positioning. Really? Wait, what are these being rallied into the back of the main base for? D's Nuts is saying, you know what, I don't believe you. You are not getting a robo facility. You are almost certainly getting some sort of air unit or Dark Templar. I'm certain of it. I'm positive. The DT seems like a reasonable assumption. Hasn't really seen any reason not to go for a DT. Has only seen the opportunity for Warp Prism Dark Templar, so I don't mind this turret at the front. The rally at the back, a little bit excessively cautious, but Dr. D going for his usual mixture of Terran aggression. Gathering his forces together, but uh-oh, the Observer from Light Brigade. The Observer from Light Brigade has spotted this and has taken it out. This is exactly what D's Nuts is going for. And we see Light Brigade is getting out his first Colossus. He's supply blocked. Oh my god, he is powering so hard. He's getting Blink. Doesn't have a lot of gateway units out. Getting Double Forge. Doesn't have a lot of gateway units out. And D's Nuts is going to be able to advance forward. It's all going to be up to the Mothership Core. Throwing down that Photon Overcharge. It's going to be a retreat out right now. And if you look at the units lost tab, it's just a little bit that has fallen right now. We're going to start to see Medivacs move up. We're going to start to see more gateway units, or excuse me, more barracks units move up. This is a very nice play from D's Nuts. Adding on 4 more barracks, going for the nice mix of 5 gateways, a single robo, and this is going to allow him, of course, to both take a third and produce units at the same time. But, uh-oh, I'm a little curious about this 5th gateway. You know, as a StarCraft 2 player, and as a 5-year-long commentator of this game, little number differences wind up feeling bigger and bigger every single game. This little retreat by D's, fairly typical in this spot. He sees a Colossus, he doesn't have all of his units. Uh-oh. Starting to advance forward. Protoss is going to safely pull back. But 5 gateways is rather different from 6 gateways. 6 gateways generally opens up an opportunity to apply a little pressure, and more importantly, allows you to repel pressure a little bit more easily. But it looks like D's Nuts is playing so smart. With a brilliant pair of decisions, pair after decisions. En route for Dr. D, who looks like he's going to be transitioning into a double starport, 5 racks composition, trying to secure up his 3rd base. This early movement didn't manage to do huge amounts of direct damage, but look at this. He has map control. He has these 2 locations. He has scouted a 3rd base and sees absolutely nothing. And oh, there's the big signal. Light Brigade is absolutely intending upon being much more aggressive in a bit. Getting gateways 7 and 8, those two stalkers. Excuse me, the many stalkers repair the two medevacs. These nuts is going to keep them to the backside. I mean, there are blink stalkers, but Colossus are really the unit that are going to be able to kill off the Marine Marauder. Once they get dropped, stalkers aren't going to do much other than die in a very interestingly animated fashion. I mean, these nuts is looking actually very, 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 very good. Like, extremely good. If I had to pick an advantage in this position, it would be to the Terran player. Light Brigade is advancing forward and is now taking his expansion. 2-2 upgrades en route. But as I'm glancing around, I don't see a single Twilight Council. I mean, I see charge, and the amount of zealots that will be able to get produced out of 8 gateways is significant, but a 3 Colossus transition seems pretty reasonable. But the window of opportunity for Terran is going to be coming up very soon. Actually, right around that 15-minute mark is we're going to begin to see Vikings produced 3 or 4 at a time, moving out with a relatively robust Marine Marauder army. Ooh, ooh, ooh! It's going to be a big chance for the Terran player advancing forward. He's going to have to deal a lot of pain to this trio of Colossi if he hopes to deal any damage. 1-1 upgrades. Uh-oh. Looks like the medevac drop has moved forward. We're starting to see the Zealot warp in to try to reinforce. Both of the medevacs are down now, and it looks like Light Brigade is not even going to be moving with his basic army. Not the best attack timing by D's nuts. Does have 18 Marauders and 17 Marines. Somewhat of a healthy army, but is delaying a little bit before the big move out. Ooh. Gosh, I'm starting to get very worried for Light Brigade. He doesn't yet have any Templar tech. And you know how important the Templar tech is. Third Orbital Command is up and running, and I mean, I think that Dr. D, the IBM Terran, has been playing fantastically thus far. The most important thing that he has secured himself is comfort of counterattack. He's moved out across the map. He's checked for all those counterattack locations. Look at this beautiful scout down to the bottom right. He is fairly confident that there's absolutely no counterattack pylon, and thus this attack right now for D's nuts is going to be the big moment. Light Brigade is trying to establish a clear location of defense. The third base is down now, but there haven't been any gas geysers yet. That is the big question for D. Can he secure himself the extra gas geysers? Terran is not quite elected to flight. A couple of volleys go down. He's continuing to kite. It looks like the Vikings are moving forward, but look at this great target firing by Light Brigade. He is eliminating those Vikings one at a time as the Vikings continue to try to kite. The Marine Marauder is going to have to retreat. They have eliminated quite a lot of Zealots. The Zealot count is down to just 3. There's 2 continuing to dart forward, saying, please, please claim us, oh great leader. More barracks being built by D. In the main base, we see not that much. Again, I would say an overall win for the Terran player. In the units lost, we see that there's quite a bit more that's been lost for the Terran, but I mean, it makes a ton of sense. If you've lost a little bit more, but you have a lot more mind in the course of the game, everything is A-okay. Observer almost at the far right side, but there's still a nice chunk of space where those medevacs can sneak by. 3-3 upgrades incoming. Light Brigade is going just for late game. Storm halfway complete. I've seen a number of games on this map. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Ooh, he doesn't see him. This is exactly how Pult wins this matchup so often. Against a Colossus-based player by hitting in 2 places at once. We see the Marine Marauder troops gain together. Oh, this would be a big win for IBM coming right out the gate. Sneaking over to the right side. Uh-oh. Going directly into the mineral line. Oh no, the Stalker's in the worst possible position, far out of the way. The Marauders are going to try to target fire. And amazingly, I mean, with that many idle gateways, Light Brigade is able to just warp in, no problem. Where are the Vikings? We only see 3 Vikings, but we see 10 medevacs. Is he actually going to try to take that? Uh-oh. 1 lone Viking is all that's defending. How many Templar are there? Well, it looks like there's a trio of them. A single storm could be huge right now. 7 barracks up. Very typical mid to late game Terran versus Protoss. Has the Protoss' defense been strong enough to deal with this amount of units? And the storm's done. Uh-oh. It's going to be all about the positioning and the kiting of these nuts as we're starting to see those Templar move forward in Light Brigade. One of the long-standing members of Team Microsoft just storming forward with feedbacks. Get it? Not a single counterattack has been had yet by Light Brigade. He's just staying extremely defensive. We don't even see any big switch to Templar yet for our Terran player. He's just getting another command center, continuing to build Vikings. Going bio for a little bit longer, delaying that tech to Ghost is something I enjoy quite a lot. I think that's a very strong play from the Terran player. Interesting. Factory has landed with a tech lab. What will become of that? Right now the Terran army is in full retreat. Medevacs continuing to fall. Haven't yet used the emergency thruster boost. Where are all those Marauders? Oh no! He's going for a Doom drop up in the main base. Has managed to unload. Does pick off the Templar immediately. Very nice play from D's, but look at all the Zealots beginning to warp in. It's going to be pretty close. These are 3-2 infantry, and we see the recall instantly back home. This is a very nice play from D's Nuts that could have gone very, very poorly. Get out of there! Get out of there! Don't heal those 2 Marauders, let them die! Ah! Oh, finally they managed to pull that away. Gold expansion up for Light Brigade. It's almost going to be 4 base versus 3 base. This is the last big chance for D's Nuts. He needs to deal a lot of damage here and now if he wants to be able to win this game. With the gold expansion up soon enough, there's going to be an opportunity to expand to like 12, 13 gateways for Protoss. Jeez, he is hopping every which way. I'm over here, I'm over there. 8 gateways, 3 regular gateways up. Once he gets to like 12, 13 gateways, it's going to be so hard for Terran. And oh man, Terran is opting to take this expansion here. This says 2 things. 1, I don't want to be counterattacked. I want my main army very close to a critical 4th base. But the second thing it says is, hey Protoss, need a target? I'll give you a target. Let's take a target. You want a target? How about this is your target? At this point in time, Light Brigade slowly gathering up his expansion. Somehow has been keeping a stockpile of gas handy that has been so important for him. Getting 4 Archons, 3 more Templar. There's 5 on the field right now. Very thin little play for D's Nuts. He sees an army of doom. He doesn't have ghosts yet. No ghosts on the field for our Terran player. Microsoft's Light Brigade looking very strong. Just has to defend against the single drop, and it looks like he's repelled it. And the big Colossus army is starting to move forward. We're seeing continued scans. 4 Vikings produced at a time. 5 only. An unusually low amount. But the Marauder drop has managed to find a large window of opportunity in the main base. He's going to begin targeting pylons. He wants to make sure that this push has to pull back, but I mean, most of the benefit coming out for the Protoss player is through. 3-3 upgrades done, more pylons getting produced. He has supply blocked, but he's also close to maxed. Every pylon, death to pylons. Dude, D's Nuts hates pylons. Nothing displeases him so much as a pylon. He's going to target the Nexus. The large army is still all the way at the right side. Protoss army is beginning to move forward. The Nexus is down. This Colossus is going to eat some hard. No! Oh, a pair of very nice storms. Clean everything up. It's a bunch of unpowered buildings. Whoopsie daisies. What's D's Nuts going to do? I think he's just going to have to lose his 3rd. Light Brigade has swung all the way deep into Terran territory. A lift's occurred. SCV's beginning to run. Where are the Vikings? Where are the Vikings? Oh no, the Vikings too far away. He's going to give the chance for everything to reposition itself properly. Oh no, IBM in blue, trying to find a good opportunity, trying to find a good position. but this Bio army is going to take significant damage. A Mist Storm might provide a little window of opportunity for Terran. Colossus count is almost at 2, but won't quite manage to get there. The Zealot count has been more or less obliterated, but with 5 Templar and 3 Colossus still on the field. Still looking very risky for D's. Looks like he's darting forward, trying to find a chance to take out this expansion. The Mothership Core falls. Very important unit to take out. He's targeting the gold. It's down to about a third health. And a quarter health. See you later. Impulse style, sniping the Nexus. Only 2 Nexi remain. We're seeing 63 probes to 42 SCVs at this late game stage. That's generally an advantage for the Terran player to have so few bio units. And Light Brigade has gotten a little distracted. Actually has 5 gateways unpowered. This is still a significant army, though. The size of this army can be very difficult to deal with. Right now, 111 to 112, more or less identical army sizes, but the composition is better for Protoss. We see no ghosts on the field for Terran. He's trying to retake his own 3rd base. Both players have a lot of money in the bank, so the fact that these expansions have been killed off isn't too huge. Here a ghost, there a ghost. Is anywhere a ghost? These few key step forwards for Protoss are going to have to count. In this engagement, we see a very thin amount of space taken up. One of the Colossus finally falls, maybe? No, none of the Colossus end up falling down. Protoss barely eliminated the key Vikings at the right time. The Storm's actually dealing more damage to the Protoss than to the Terran player. D's Nut stepping forward. Finally, one of those Colossi falls. Another one extremely low on health. Very, very close game right now, but Light Brigade has managed to pull the advantage for himself at this point in time. Still hasn't repowered these gateways. Normally, we would say that it's about a 2-base versus 2-base situation, but it's more like 1.5 versus 1.5. We see that D's Nuts is mining out of his natural expansion as well. This gold base is what it's all about right now. This is a good position for the Vikings to hang out, though, up on top of this little pod here by this watchtower. Command center being morphed into a planetary. Light Brigade immediately darting up. Oh no, the brutal debris getting in the way. Needs to kite, needs to... Oh! Oh! The Storm's tremendous. D's Nuts eats it hard. Only Stalkers remain, but I don't think it matters. Storm Colossus. God, those Storms are dealing a lot of damage to Protoss. Big scan goes down. Now, over here on this right side, we see D's Nuts has a planetary, but not much else to show for it. Gold expansion. Running at about 2/3 minerals left, but, I mean, Light Brigade just keeps expanding. He keeps expanding. Back and forth engagements, but without that much Viking firepower, I mean, these Colossus are never going to fall. I understand sticking with 3/3 bio for a little bit before getting ghosts, but there's too few anti-air. There's too many Colossus dealing damage. Zealot counterattacks are starting to look oh so strong. Planetary Fortress likely going to fall unless he repairs it. Never mind, and it falls! Oh my god. See you later, Colossus. God, those Storms dealing a lot of damage to Protoss. Big scan. Sees an army of death. No real chance for Light Brigade to lose that gold expansion. D's Nuts gathering himself together. Might be another final engagement, but until that Viking count begins to get high, I don't see an opportunity for Terran to take down the Protoss Ball of Death, with the exception of this engagement. Oh! No! Those 2 Colossus were like, please, please kill us. We've had enough time in the army. We don't want to participate anymore. Microsoft is known for playing so solid, start to finish. And this is one of these great recognitions that we rarely see. If your opponent has no ghosts, getting a ton of Archons is an amazing, quick finishing blow. So often the Terran player will have ghosts at a time like this, but Light Brigade brilliantly just flooding with Archons in the late game. What a stud muffin. As Light Brigade steps in, he's beginning to skewer these. And as someone who grew up eating kebabs, I think that this is going to be absolutely delicious for the Protoss player. Putting Marine Marauder on the spittle. D's Nuts has a lifted command center. He's airing it out. Look at the might of these Archons without any ghosts in sight. It's a GG. And that means that Microsoft is going to come out in a crucial game number 1 with the lead. In a best of 7, especially when there is a team versus a team, that early first game momentum is tremendous. But keep in mind it is a best of 7, so whoever wins game 1 is not guaranteed to win the series. When we come back, we'll see if IBM has the gumption in them to tie it up. Stay tuned.